the question I posed to Kobe that Doug posed earlier. Game 3, is this a series, or are the Lakers that much better than the San Antonio Spurs?
The Lakers are this much better than the Spurs. You think about it. What I said at halftime, they would have to play a perfect game because, you look at the big three. Let's just say, hypothetically, they played great and scored 25, 25, 25. I don't think 75 is enough. And Doug said the bench and other guys would have to get another 20. Unless those road guys unless David Roberts and Iceman gonna come out of their uniforms,
they're not walking through that.
They're not walking. They're gonna have to slow. They're gonna have to walk the ball up and down the court. They're not gonna be able because they can't run with the Lakers. The only way would be to walk the ball up and down the court and make it a half-court game. That's their only chance.
Well, I think that the one thing that you probably have to do is get Tony Parker going a little bit more. He has to get into the lane, and at home, I think that's going to happen. Once he gets into the lane, it creates all of those opportunities for, okay, if they only get 75, but it creates opportunities for the 8 points from Finley, the 7 points from Udoka, the 8 points from Barry. So those are now, all of a sudden, 75 becomes 100 because you have other guys who are coming in and stepping up. And I think Tony Parker getting into the lane is more important than Tim Duncan scoring on the low block.
Well, let's not forget that, first of all, this team is a world champion, okay? And they're not going to die easy. I think they're going to come back and have a strong Game 3. They understand how to win. The only thing that's going against them was what Charles said, and one day in between every game. That's going to kill the Spurs because they're never going to get the rest. Just like in Game 7 against New Orleans, they had 3 or 4 days in between that game. That gave them enough rest to get ready for New Orleans and beat them in Game 7. They won't have but one day in between. Every game in this series, it's going to be difficult for this team to recover.
And Coach Popovich can't make – remember the subtle change he made after Game 2?
Great point.
He started staying home on Morris Peterson. He started staying home on Stojakovic. That took them out the series. He can't do anything to this Laker team to take anybody out the game.
We saw Greg Popovich earlier saying thank you. He did say more than that earlier. Here's his take on Manu Ginobili.